Hello my dear friends and welcome back to yet another Bad Batch video. Today I'm going to give you guys two videos in one. In the first half of this video I'm going to be explaining why Tech was partially wrong about Omega's identity, and then we're going to be breaking down new details for the show as provided by the official episode 10 guide. Before I get into it guys, look for that big red subscribe button down below and don't hesitate to click on it. And also be sure to give that notification bell a good old tickle or a full-on slap, whichever floats your stoat. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. In episode 9 of the Bad Batch, when Tech revealed that Omega is an unaltered Jango Fett clone, a lot of people assumed that was the definitive answer to her identity. But on the other hand, a lot of us rightly thought that such an answer was a little bit fishy. The show has clearly been setting up a big reveal for Omega and what her true purpose is in the Star Wars universe on the whole. Now I've made a few videos explaining why I think that Omega is not unaltered and why there's so much more to who she is. But in today's video, I'll be elaborating on why what Tech said in episode 9 was wrong. We need to start by examining this scene. Tech ran a full genetic profile on Omega and came to the conclusion based on the results that she has pure first generation DNA, connecting her to Jango Fett. Now I will make it clear that I'm not disputing this part whatsoever. It is pretty clear that she does in some capacity have Jango DNA, but what Tech did get wrong is the fact that she's an unaltered clone. She evidently does have alterations, her skin tone, her gender, the hair color and so on. So why didn't Tech's genetic profile catch any of this? Because the device he has is the one that he got on Kamino. It's essentially Kaminoan technology. As such, if the Kaminoans were trying to hide something, which they very clearly are with Omega, they wouldn't allow such secrets to appear on a genetic profiling device. The way that Omega's DNA is sequenced may have been altered so that specific strands do not show as an abnormality when tested. Alternatively, the device is programmed to only pick up on Jango DNA since all of the clone army are based on the original template. So in essence, Omega is part Jango, but what else is she? We need to go back to episode 3 when Lama Su calls Omega Nala Se's personal experiment.
Then it is time to begin the next phase. If your experiment can yield a superior clone, it will secure our relationship with this empire. This
implies that for whatever reason, Nala Se created Omega to be very different to every other clone, and this is where the enhancements come in. Now look, while it's not 100% clear what they are, episode 10 Common Ground revealed to us that Omega has tactical and strategic abilities, ones which are going to prove to be more powerful than we realize. All in all, the Kaminoans clearly tampered with her DNA, and she is the product of an experimental project that included chromosomal manipulation. In this way, she's a powerful, altered clone. Now, I think it's relevant to also put forward to you guys another theory, one that looks specifically at what Nala Se did to Omega's DNA to create a clone that would eventually be the template for the third wave of clones. According to this theory, she is part Jango DNA, but the other half is from another powerful being that the Kaminoans were able to retrieve DNA from. I'm not saying that this other person has to be force sensitive, but it is an interesting proposition. If they were force sensitive, the likely candidates are Obi-Wan Kenobi, Count Dooku, Palpatine, Joe Castanu, or even the DNA from Anakin's arm. In Legends, some Kaminoans were very curious about the nature of the Force. There are indeed records in their history of Force-sensitive Kaminoans, one of which who even became a Jedi. It's possible that the Kaminoans wanted to enhance Jango's DNA by seeing what would happen if it were to be combined with that of a Force-sensitive. Stepping cautiously away from this theory, another alternative is that Omega is an exact replication of Jango, but with altered DNA that causes heightened versions of his template capabilities. Either way, we need answers, and I feel as though Lucasfilm are hinting at a big reveal in the upcoming episodes. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below, and now let's move on to talk about the episode 10 guide. So Common Ground was in many ways great fun, but it was definitely a missed opportunity. We were taken back to the planet of Raxus Secundus, also just called Raxus, which we first saw in the Clone Wars episode Heroes on Both Sides. Now when we saw Raxus, I was really hoping that we were going to see Lux Bonteri, since at this point he was allied with Saw Gerrera and the early traces of the rebellion. But even if we didn't get Lux Bonteri, the story felt very familiar. It had similar elements of the Clone Wars episode, but it avoided repeating darker themes from the last time that we visited Raxus. In case you're not aware, let me get you up to speed. In episode 10 Common Ground, the former separatist senator R.V. Singh speaks out about the Empire. He was taken into imperial custody under the order of Captain Bragg, as the Empire sought to take over the once separatist capital. In a sense, it was very similar to the story of Mina Bonteri, Lux's mother, a separatist senator from Onderon who was killed by Count Dooku's agents. R.V. Singh is ironically rescued from a similar fate by a team of clone commandos, now working as mercenaries. But Mina Bonteri was not so lucky. Mina Bonteri, first introduced in the Clone Wars, was a friend and mentor to Padme Amidala, and their friendship continued even after Bonteri joined the Separatist movement and became an enemy of the Republic. Bonteri was unaware that the Separatist Alliance was secretly far more corrupt than the Republic, and just like the Republic, it was controlled by Darth Sidious. Nevertheless, she and Padme attempted to broker a peace initiative between the Republic and the Separatists. Her proposal was approved by the Separatist Parliament on Raxus, but unfortunately Count Dooku needed the Clone War to continue. As such, he got his agents to attack Coruscant's power grid, ending any chance of peace. Dooku also had Bonteri assassinated, staging her death to appear as an attack from the Republic. In the Bad Batch, Senator Singh was coerced by the Empire to publicly embrace the new regime, but he criticized them instead. Before he could be tortured and then killed, the Bad Batch came to rescue him, saving him from a similar fate to Mina Bonteri. Though a former separatist, R.V. Singh was demonstrably a good man who cared more about his people than the Empire. In his gruesome fate being averted, the Bad Batch avoided a repeat of Bonteri's gruesome death in the Clone Wars. But even though the outcome was different, the underlying theme remained the same in both episodes. In this sense, the Bad Batch episode 10 mirrored the Clone Wars episode Heroes on Both Sides. So now looking through this guide, they briefly talk about Raxus and its scenery, and we do have a lot of trivia. I spoke about a lot of this in my full episode breakdown, but something really interesting is that the protocol droid GS-8 is based on the RA-7 model from A New Hope. Another callback from the original Star Wars movie is the interrogator droid that was brought in by the Empire to interrogate R.V. Singh. In A New Hope, or Star Wars if you're an OG fan, Darth Vader used a similar droid on Princess Leia. Something else you may have missed is the Wilhelm scream, which at this point is iconic to Star Wars. It's been in every movie, as well as being in The Mandalorian. Another callback to the original trilogy is of course the game of Dedrick. Omega was able to wipe out the Bad Batch's debt through playing Dedrick because of her talent with strategy. Now, something which unfortunately isn't even touched upon in this episode guide is the significance of Echo's dismay at returning to the Separatist capital. In his mindset, he's still loyal to the Republic, which has now fallen. There was a lot of character development in the brief exchange with Tech, and I do think it's foreshadowing a bigger argument between Echo and the rest of the batch further down the line. In the episode, Echo in particular was unhappy with the assignment, and he made his displeasure very clear. While the episode doesn't really delve into Echo's reasons for objecting, it's pretty clear that they're personal. The last time he went on a mission to break someone out of prison was of course the Citadel, and it ended with him becoming a prisoner of war and a separatist weapon. It made him who he is today. And when Rex and the Bad Batch came to rescue him, he joined Clone Force 99. The underlying theme here is the descent from the Republic into the Empire, and this is something they've had to deal with ever since we saw them escape Kamino in Aftermath. But going back to Raxus must have had a lot of deeper implications for Echo, and it might have been a traumatic experience. Echo is definitely a member of the Bad Batch to watch going forward, and I do believe he's going to have a pivotal role near the end of the series. But what do you guys think, and what did you make of all the underlying themes in Common Ground? Did you enjoy this episode? And let me know your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and a huge welcome if you are, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff down below, and also guys, if you're feeling generous, please consider becoming a patron. It really helps to support the channel, and that way I can provide you with daily Star Wars updates. There's tons of extra content, loads of series, lots of fun. Otherwise, I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.